is the phenomenon of the Imposter Syndrome. You familiar with that?
I am.
Okay, so that's what people go through their lives, perhaps even being good at what they do, and constantly thinking that they're going to be found out as a fraud. Doctors, lawyers, professionals have these thoughts. And I thought that would just be an interesting thing to touch on, because it's kind of one of those hidden psychological issues that most people deal with, but no one wants to really talk about it.
Right, but it's also kind of a bit wooey to me, too, because it's pseudoscience-y, isn't it? I mean, everyone kind of has that. I mean, I'm sure there are, extremes of it, but I think everyone sort of feels like an imposter all day, because we're all being imposters. It's what we do in this society.
Yeah, it's like the reconciliation between your humanity and what you do. We're all people, and we all have particular tasks that we do, and we put on the clothes of that job, as a front, because it's just kind of I guess just what we do. But I don't necessarily think it's always a negative thing. A little bit of self-doubt isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Mm-mm.
But the idea is that people who have maybe a moderate to severe inability to internalize their accomplishments. And they have a persistent fear of being exposed as a quote-unquote fraud, even though objectively they know that's not true.
Yes.
But we live in a world of constant critique about what we should be doing or whether or not we're doing something in the right way. So it makes sense that a lot of people would have these mixed feelings about what it is that they do. Is this what I'm supposed to be doing?
Yeah.
Was I don't know, the lawyer who always wanted to be a doctor, but his dad was a lawyer, so he became a lawyer. Something along those lines. Even though he has all the credentials, it's just not him, for instance.
Yeah.
And then the second ingredient is that this person or the imposter, they take the proof of their success as luck or timing, or even to the extreme, as a result of deceiving other people. Even subconsciously, I pulled it, I pulled one over on everybody. I'm not really the person I am pretending to be. Yeah. Huh.
I feel like this is just it's societal, really, and it's sort of the way we've built the structure of our lives. And capitalism, in many ways, is kind of a phony thing, isn't it? The doctor who comes out, you saved our kid's life, and that doctor, probably saved the kid's life, but also there was this nurse there who kind of helped him to get blah, 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 and then, I don't know.
Or what if it was just luck?
Right?
The kid was sick, and then he got better, but he got better while he happened to be under the doctor's care. The doctor gets the credit, but the doctor, because he's a doctor and has medical knowledge, knows, deep down, the truth that he didn't do anything.
And he wasn't even there, because being under someone's care, being under a doctor's care basically means that you're in an area of the hospital that the doctor has pretty much fought over.
Right.
Because of his, level of expertise or whatever, or something.
Right. He's an administrator. Right. He's not even a real doctor.
and all the nurses must be standing around going like, well, I was the one who did this, and I was the one who did that for the kid. You know, what about me? You know,
right?
But then,
isn't that that's common? That's a common thing that you hear with like the the mid-level staff in any place like a hospital, is that the ones who do the real work are the orderlies and the nurses, right? The doctors they're not even there. They pop into the room for 10 seconds to check in and make sure that the kid's not bleeding out. And if the kid is bleeding out, he calls in the other guy to sew him up.
Right. Exactly.
Right. So there is something to this, or the.
I think everyone's a fucking imposter. Like, what do you do? When people ask me that, it's hilarious. Well,
right? Yeah.
Because you could say a million things, and most of what people say in this town is pretty disingenuous. Well, I'm a producer, and I'm, working with Netflix right now on a deal, and so basically what you do is you take a piece of art that someone's made, and you put your money into it and say it's yours, and you make a shit ton of money off of that. Yep, that's what I do. Like, everyone's dishonest even in what they say they do.
Sure. You ever notice that it's always the common thing is like, I'm working out this deal, or I'm like getting into this deal. Like it's never, oh, here's the finished product.
Yeah, I just finished a deal. Like, no one says that ever.
No, that's you know why? It's because the people who are actually finishing the deals aren't wandering around talking to people about what deals they're in. They're actually doing something.
Because they're actually working 12-hour shifts and too tired to be talking about what they're doing.
Right, and just the fact that they're actually doing it. And all the meetings have been taken. All of the paperwork has been signed.
Sure.
So there, maybe in a lot of these like imposter cases, it's true. It's not a syndrome. It's just a fact. It's very interesting because a little self-doubt is healthy, but